Live from the Momo Pizzeria and Ristorante Studios at 44th and O. Morning radio for the entire capital city. This is LNK Today with Jack and Friends on the voice of Lincoln, 1499.3 KLIN. But first, your fantasy Huskers keyword for a chance at a $100 prize pack from Valentino's at Alumni Hall.
Well, that's right. We're doing this first. All right. Sorry, I forgot about this. All right, Fantasy House, because you got to text this word into the Rickstown Recognition text line, 402-479-1400 if you want to pick during Fling Week Part 2, or you pick another team this week instead of Nebraska, because Nebraska's not playing. AP Top 25 team that scores the most points this week. What is the keyword?
Sacrilegious.
Oh, my gosh. S-A-C-R-E-L.
Nope.
Really?
Sacrilegious.
Oh, it's like sacrilegious?
Sacrilegious.
It's not like the word religious is R-E, though.
Yeah. R-I?
I don't know if I believe you. No, I guess you're right. Huh. That's a misspelled word by the designers of that word.
And that's why
All right.
It is our keyword today.
All right. S-A-C-R-I-L-E-G-I-O-U-S. Text that in for whatever reason. Get yourself a pick.
Like how you're like,
team.
Mayor, I'm sorry, you're going to have to wait.
Yes,
I need to look
true.
up how to spell this.
So Mayor Leirion Gaylor Baird joins us right now, who I know is spelling that in her head, probably.
I did Google it.
Did you? Well, hold on.
No, there was a spelling bee. I didn't get that heads up, so
Well, I was going
ready.
be honest, would you have gotten that right or not?
I don't think so, no.
Makes me feel better.
Yeah.
It makes me feel a lot better. I got absolutely jobbed in a spelling bee in third grade, and I'm still mad about it. The word was fourth. It was please come fourth in line to receive your cookie. The sentence was ambiguous. I spelled it F-O-U-R-T-H. It was F-O-R-T-H. They rang the bell. I was out. I still have nightmares about it. So you're not.
I got tripped up on the word conscious.
Conscious. Jeez. Yeah, that's a hard one too.
Colonel got me.
Colonel. Okay.
We all remember.
Yeah, exactly. We really do. We very much do. How you doing, Mayor? Good to talk to you.
I'm doing well. Just don't ask me to spell anything.
I won't. Hey, I haven't had a chance to talk to you since your state of the city address. I had a chance to read over that and of course some of the stories that came out of it. But what was kind of like setting up right now where you're at? I know you announced some new initiatives. I know you kind of talked about where the city is coming out of the pandemic, but just kind of give where you're at here, what you wanted to convey with that in terms of state of mind and looking forward for the city and your vision for it.
You bet. Well, as I laid out in the State of the City, my administration has been just laser focused on leading Lincoln towards a more successful, secure, and shared future. That's our vision. And in part because of that vision and the efforts to implement it, we are a safer community. We're more welcoming, we're more resilient, and more prosperous, and we are working hard to keep it this way far into the future. We talked about public safety. That is our number one priority, and shared some statistics. My administration has added nearly 60 public safety personnel in the last 3 years. That's both at our police department and at LFR. We are incentivizing the creation of new housing for our prosperity and making sure that everyone has a safe place to call home. So we've incentivized 1,200 new or rehabilitated affordable housing unit, and that's just on track for our affordable housing goal of creating 5,000 more units by 2030, while at the same time we continue every day to help process new development through the city at every price point. We're working on streets. We're absolutely focused on streets and have a new vision to eliminate traffic-related deaths and severe injuries in Lincoln. We have a goal to reduce those incidents 60% by 2045, and we're seeking federal funding to help us do that. And we launched a project that really got the most sizzle, so to speak. People really seemed excited about the Downtown Music District project, which we're focused on downtown's live music scene. We want to capitalize on our city's hub for live music, and so we've launched a committee that's going to support the development of that district. We think that'll help not only the arts and having good times in our community, but also that'll support downtown and our local economy, and help us keep people here, keep the people here we want to come and join us in our workforce.
So let's get in a little bit more into some of those things. And you said in the speech, you repeated it there, that public safety is the top priority for your administration. And I think there were, that new police contract, I think was a step in that direction, and not only, longevity, making this an attractive job, those sorts of things, and the new budget as well. But I also know right now, and I'm sure you know this too, it feels like you're waking up way too often in Lincoln and you're hearing a story of a homicide the night before or the weekend before. And I know it's been a busy year for that. And that's just, it's just something that is sort of out of the character of this community. And I'm curious when you see that, when you continue to see those numbers, and with that priority in mind, like how does that affect it? I mean, what are there conversations? Like, is it something that's still about the numbers of police are too much? I know it's not an easy correlation necessarily to make, but I guess I'm just kind of curious about your reaction to those sorts of things, because I think a lot of us are reacting to it and seeing like, this just doesn't feel right for Lincoln.
Right. I mean, there's no number of homicides that's acceptable in a community, and so we take it really seriously. And every time I meet with the chief, we review the data. And I think it can be hard to hear that news. When you look at the data, you can find some reassurance in that violent crime overall is actually down in Lincoln this year, 7%. Compared to the prior 4 years. I mean, 7% year to date and 14% compared with the last 5 years. And when there are homicides in our community, like right now we have a 100% closure rate. And the chief would tell you that means that our investigators and our officers are on the case. They find the perpetrator and they mete out justice. And so, people can feel very confident in LPD's effectiveness in solving those cases. We are a growing community. We're approaching that 300,000 population mark, and it's not a surprise that this is the kind of we're going to have to pay more and more attention and continue our strides to have great relationships in the community. Our community policing model is part of why we close those cases so quickly. And I mean, I think that what we're trying to reassure the public is that most cases, these homicides are between it's related individuals. It is targeted. It is not random. So in terms of the general public safety, there's less of a need to be alarmed. But of course, we are paying close attention and working hard to minimize this activity. I would also want to plug for your viewers and listeners that really what we have, of course, have seen with regard to other types of theft is that we all have a role to play in not inviting crime. So locking your doors at home and locking up your vehicle is a great way to help our officers and prevent crime for our residents and help our officers stay focused on larger crime issues.
The other thing that it feels like there's too many headlines of when I wake up in the morning, get ready for the show, are these terrible car crashes too. And you talked a little bit about that there might be some grant money there might be some things with this initiative to really reduce these. And like my first reaction to that was that sounds good, but it feels like so much of it too is making sure that people are driving well. Is not distracted, not drunk, not
right.
all of these other, like how much can you really even do in that situation, do you think?
Right. It's not something the city can get done alone. We will do our part to look at, what can we do with engineering and design of our streets? What can we do with signage? What can we do with our street, our light system, the network that helps manage traffic flow? But of course, it does come down to folks taking precaution, remembering that when you're behind the wheel, there's a lot of risk to you and those around you. And so you want to manage that risk by, put your phone away, don't drink and drive, some of those basic safety tips. And I think, we all just have to pay a lot of attention on our roads and do our best to keep everyone safe.
When you talk to LTU, kind of now that the summer construction season is wrapping up, I know it was a busy one. I know it was a busy one from having driven around and wanting to drive on South 70th Street and not being able to a few times, and other places. How much were they able to get done that they wanted to get done, and kind of where are we coming out of the summer construction season for roads?
Yeah, we had a really, really super busy and productive summer construction season, which is great news. We've been investing at historic levels. We have spent $61.4 million this year on streets, and that is resulting in a lot of progress. And that means while, those cones are inconvenient for a time, when they go away, we've got smoother, safer streets, and we've got 28 miles worth of improvements across neighborhoods throughout the community, all quadrants. And that's building on the investments we've been making since 2019. When I entered office, since 2019, we've invested $167 million in streets. And we do that because we know how important it is to our residents. We know that that's really how we keep people safe on the roads. It's part of it. It's how we move goods and commerce through our community. It's how kids get to school, and it helps support the growth of our community, which means, better economic opportunities for everybody. So we'll continue to be focused on this, and we appreciate the public's patience while we do that construction and repair, and I believe people are feeling really great about the results.
Hey, Mayor, I know we have a lot of small business owners that listen to this show, and we were just talking in the previous segment about gas prices, and of course utility prices factor into that as well. Evidently, there's a program I know a little bit about. Maybe you can give us some details, some utility assistance that's going to be available to small businesses coming up this year.
Yeah, that's right. We have used our federal rescue plan dollars to focus on recovery, economic recovery and renewal for our community, and especially our small businesses. And so this latest round of assistance that we're providing to small businesses in our community is to allow them to apply for up to a year of electric and water utility costs that we will use our federal relief dollars to prepay LES and the Lincoln Water System on their behalf. So we put this notice out. We are encouraging small businesses to apply. A lot of folks already have, which is great. We've got over $750,000 worth of requests so far, and we just hope that having one less bill like that is going to help our small businesses. They're not thinking about that bill. They have more opportunity to grow their operations or deal with inflation and recover from losses they may have experienced. So again, trying to support our community as we bounce back.
All right. So these are, looks like, just reading over this, looks like first come, first serve. So get to lincoln.ne.gov/ARP. And the applications look like they're all available now. Have been for a few days.
Right.
So
that's right.
So yeah, very good. Have you rode the scooter project is a go now? The probationary period or whatever is over, and we're actually doing this now. Have you rode one yet?
Yes, I have gotten on a scooter.
You got one on one?
Fun. It is very fun, and it seems pretty efficient and an easy way to get around. And in fact, the boundary that we're allowing the scooters to be accessible is grown because we know this is really popular. We're seeing that because of the successful pilot, we wanted to make this program permanent, and it is available to folks. It launched earlier this month, and you can learn more about the details of the program at lincoln.ne.gov/scooter. But I'm just so pleased that in the first 2 weeks of this permanent program, we've seen almost 4,300 e-scooter trips taken by people in our community.
Really?
And that's like, yeah.
Like, I legit wondered if Lincoln is a scooterable downtown.
Yeah.
Like, I've been to a lot of cities where they've got them. There's a lot of people doing them, but I just didn't know if Lincoln feels like a scooterable downtown. But if the numbers are there, I guess
the pilot helped establish that for us, and we're excited. This, of course, is going to help take some cars off the street and free up some parking spaces and advance environmental goals. But it's also just kind of a fun option, and people today are wanting different travel options in their downtowns. People go to other communities, they see this as a choice, and they want it in Lincoln. So we're pleased to be able to provide that choice to our community.
All right. Very good, Mayor. I'm out of time for today. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. We will check in again coming up in a month or so, all right?
All right. Thanks so much.
There you go, Mayor Leirion Gaylor Baird.
Quick, spell Leirion.
Oh, God. Not while she's on hold. Leirion.
Yes.
Oh, God.
Look at you go.
had to think about it, though. She probably gets that a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
All right, it's 8:25. We'll take a break. It's LNK Today with Jack and Friends on KLIN.
Sign up for the daily at KLIN.com to get today's top local and Husker news sent straight to your email.